Hey, what is up, you guys? It's your main man, your homie, your boy, Frosty Kool-Aid, here with y'all today for another PokeThought video on Sunday. That is today. Actually, for me, it's Saturday, but that doesn't matter. Before we get into the video and into the topic, which is Pokemon Fusion, as you can tell by the title, hit that like button, share the video, and if you have not, please subscribe. It is very, very appreciated for all the people that watch this video. I don't know how many will, but you know, I just really appreciate it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Will Pokemon Fusion ever be incorporated back into Pokemon? And what I mean by that is, we've only seen Pokemon Fusion once. We've only seen it once, and that's with Zekrom, Kyurem, and Reshiram. And that's the only time we've ever seen Pokemon Fusion. What do I think personally? Well, I'll give you my verdict at the end. Let's go over the positives of Pokemon Fusion. Well, number one positive, Pokemon Fusion, we all know if Pokemon Fusion were to happen, the designs for the Pokemon would be so sick. So sick. Like, it would be so good. And then only on top of that, the stats would be amazing. The Pokemon would be godlike. Like, anything goes tier would be probably become one of the most popular tiers ever, because it would be so good and so just think about the designs. Think about one I've always thought about was thinking about Sceptile and Blaziken fused together. That would be sick. That would be so sick. Another thing that will incorporate from Pokemon Fusion, another positive, is the kids would love it. You know, it would bring people back into, I wouldn't say back into Pokemon, but Pokemon would start catching people's eye. People would be like, oh my goodness, Pokemon, wow, Fusion? Pokemon Fusion? Is this Dragon Ball Z? Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon combined? No, I'm trying. No, but seriously, it would be so good. It'd be really, I think it'd be a popular idea, but at the same time, with all positives, there are negatives. So let's go ahead and let's revisit the positives. Like I said, the designs for them would be sick. Be oh so powerful. You know, I would love to see a lot of Pokemon fused together. I've seen people do pictures and things with Pokemon fused together, and they look powerful, yo. Really powerful. And then on top of that, like I said, promotion for it would be really good. You know, I feel like it'd be something to catch the eye of old Pokemon fans and new Pokemon fans. However, I don't know how well it would be received. I think it'd be received pretty well, but I mean, you know, at the same time, you know how people act. Sometimes they want stuff and then they don't want it, and then they do want it. So, you know, I have no idea, I'm telling. But like I said, for every positives, there are negatives. The positives, they're easy for me to talk about. They look good. It'd be interesting. But the negatives is where it gets real. So, let's go over the negatives. Number one, it would complicate the game in so many ways. Let me tell you why. Alright, here's number one on how it would complicate the game. The typings would be confused. Think about this. Think about how the typings would work. Let's say Blaziken and Lucario. How about that? Blaziken and Lucario, for example. Let's say they fuse together because they're two of the most popular Pokemon out there. Okay, so they keep the fighting typing because they're both fighting type. But what other typing would they keep? Would they keep fire typing? Would they keep steel typing? And you know what that would implement? If they had come up with fusion for Pokemon that don't have single types, you know what that would make? Triple type Pokemon. And I was about to do this video on triple type Pokemon, but since I feel like this led up to that anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get my little spiel on it. You know, triple type Pokemon would create so many problems in the game. Oh, so many problems in the game. I know what you're thinking, okay, well, they did it with Reshiram and Zekrom. Well, yeah, they did, but that's different. That was for the storyline purposes itself. The storyline helped that, and yeah, they still had two typings. They only had Dragon and fire, Dragon and ice, Dragon and electric, yes, but at the same time, you know, it's not gonna work for every Pokemon fusion, because in that particular case, one Pokemon just dropped his typing, but they were already combined, they were already together, they were already related. These Pokemon wouldn't really be related, or they'd have to be related, and then they'd have to explain the history of how all these Pokemon became related and things like that, and that would complicate the game. Like I said, triple typings would, I cannot even imagine how hard the game would become to understand. Even from my standpoint, I'm not even talking about as a little kid, I'm talking about from me, understanding how a move would work. Because then then the typings would just, I don't even want to get into that. That would take forever for me to explain. That's a topic. If y'all want to hear me talk about that, let me know in the comments. But I do not want to get into that. But fusion, like I said, the typings would be messed up, and I think that would complicate them. Number 2 is, how would it work in battling? I know, okay, here's how it worked for Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem. You have the DNA splicer. Well, then you can use that outside of battle, but I'm thinking with this kind of Pokemon fusion, it's more like a Dragon Ball Z type thing, you know, where you fuse in battle, but you don't fuse outside of battle, you know. I don't think it will work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it'll work like you fuse outside of battle anytime you want. Now, that could be an option, don't get me wrong, because, I mean, it's Game Freak. They would do something like that. But I'm saying, is it likely? I don't think it's likely for that to happen, you know? I really don't think it's likely for that. But then, another, like, problem that sides off of that is if it's a battle-only thing, well, you'd only be able to fuse in double battles. You know what I'm saying? You'd only be able to fuse in double battles, and that'd give you 1 Pokemon, while the other side still has 2 Pokemon attacking you at the same time. And that complicates the battling system up. Like, cause you know, like if you can only use fusion in double battles, or if you're going to fuse, the Pokemon have to be on the field at the same time. But then you allow that to be able to fuse outside of battle, and then that just takes it to a whole nother level, and then that basically just creates new Pokemon in general. If you can fuse outside of battle, then Pokemon in general are just created, like new Pokemon in general. Like, let's say you have like a what's a good, you know, I'm just gonna stick with Blaziken and Sceptile because it's just easy for me to think of. Let's say you have a Sceptile and a Blaziken, and you fuse them. First off, the name would change, stats would change, and I don't know about movesets. Like, how would the movesets work? Would it take Blaziken's movesets? Would it take Sceptile's movesets? Would it just take their strongest moves in general? You know what I'm saying? Like, fusion doesn't it doesn't support a lot of things. As cool as I would love to see the designs and all of that, there's just a lot of complicated things that go along with fusion that just don't promote it, and like just Game Freak just don't go there. And then on top of that, you know what would happen if they came up with Pokemon Fusion? You know how many Digimon fanboys would start coming to the Pokemon community and start bashing them because Pokemon is technically taking Digimon's ideas, really? Because I know Fusion, that's like a Dragon Ball Z thing, but Digimon was like the first, you know, Mon type show to use Fusion. So if Pokemon uses Fusion for his Pokemon, like it already did Mega Evolution, and people are already bashing Digimon. People were already bashing Pokemon for using Mega Evolution, saying that, oh my goodness, y'all just basically took Warp Evolution from Digimon and then just gave it stones and things like that. They already did that. Fusion, Digimon, actually the company that made Digimon, why I keep saying Digimon? The company that made Digimon may actually sue Game Freak if that or something like that were to happen. I know it's already happened before, but I'm talking about as like a constant thing. Like Mega Evolution is like a constant thing. They may actually get sued, and that could be a really, really big problem for them. That could be a real big problem for them. But yeah, that's another reason why Fusion would not work. I don't think it would work. But then my final reason, my final negative on why Fusion would more than likely not be a thing is because how would items work? Let's say one Pokemon had one Pokemon had Life Orb and the other one had Leftovers. So like, how would that work? Would you even be able to fuse? I'm guessing you wouldn't be able to fuse with an item anyway. I'm guessing you'd have to give them both an item, like both a DNA splicer, in order to fuse them. But then you'd have to be able to, again, to fuse them outside of battle, or you'd only be able to do it in double battles, or like triple battles, or something like that, or multi battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, there's so many things that complicate Pokemon as a whole. Pokemon is supposed to be a simple game, you know? You go out, you catch the Pokemon. If you're a kid, you know, that's what you do. You catch all the Pokemon, you see all the Pokemon in the region, you battle all the trainers and whatnot. You battle in the game. And then, you know, if you get into competitive battling, it's difficult, but at the same time, it's easily understandable in order to play. And that would mess up the game a lot. Pokemon Fusion. First off, like I said, the stats would be horrible. The stats would be, oh my lord. Because that means they basically just add the stat totals. Because like it's just like a multiplier basically when you fuse. It's a multiplier, and then the stats would go up. I cannot. Oh, that'd be just. Oh, they'd be way too good. They'd be way too good. But those are my positives and my negatives. So what's the final verdict? No, I don't think Pokemon Fusion will ever be implemented into Pokemon just because the negatives outweigh the positives. There are too many negatives that even though like there are cool positives and things like that, there are just too many negatives for them to put Pokemon Fusion and implement that into the game. I just think it wouldn't work in the long run. Would I like to see? I mean, by all means, I would be indifferent on it. Like, I wasn't Mega Evolution. I'm just indifferent. Like, it's cool to see sometimes, and I like some Mega Evolutions. And like, but at the same time, did it need to be implemented for me to still play Pokemon? No, it didn't need to be implemented, and that's how I would feel with Fusion. It wouldn't need to be implemented, but it just there'd be too many things that it would complicate up in the Pokemon and how the system works and things like that. So, you heard the final verdict. Please, please, please let me know in the comment section below what you think on Pokemon Fusion in Pokemon, and will you think it'd be implemented? Do you think it'll be a good idea for them to implement that into the game? Also, don't forget to comment down below a topic you would like to see me speak on next week, because you know it was hard for me to come up with this topic. Like, I just basically based off the last video. So please let me know what topic you would like to see in the next video. But with all that said, you know, the typical stuff, please hit that like button, share the video, subscribe if you have not already. But with all of that said and done, it's been your main man, your boy Frosty Kool-Aid, and I am gone.